Now I just need to service this aquarium because what's happened is this aquarium has ran well for a very long period of time and they're getting fed effectively, and then they went on holidays and it's the usual story. Someone stopped in a couple of times during the holidays and overfed the fish, and that was evident by a white furriness all over the bottom. So since then the owners have taken the fake plants and so forth out and have done some partial water changes. So basically it's really important when someone's going to feed your fish, regardless of how competent you think that person is, it's quite good to put the amount of food that you want them to feed into an ice tray, and then you can just then put that in the freezer, the amount of food that you want fed in one session, and then they can come and pop the ice cube out and throw it in there, and that way it's you setting the amount of food, not them, because it's so common that when you're away people feed too much, and then if you overfeed the tank while you're away, then the tank's going to collapse because it's not going to be able to handle all the extra waste. Goldfish are very messy fish, so it's in an aquarium it's good to look at other options besides goldfish, just because they're quite messy. And if you are going to have goldfish, that's okay, just make sure you feed really good quality foods, really clean foods. Now at the moment there's 2 canister filters on this tank and someone's aimed the outlets up, so that's good because I'm getting some surface agitation up there, which is good. And we've also got an air stone which is releasing a bit of bubbles into the tank, which is good. So I'm not going to say that the dissolved oxygen level and redox potential of this tank is great. Also the fish are breathing fairly heavily, but I'm definitely not unimpressed either. Now one of the most important things if you want your aquarium to look clean is you need your glass lids to be clean, or the light will shine through the glass lids, shining everything green, which is a disadvantage before we even start. One of the best things you can ever buy for your aquarium is a flipper. These things are unbelievably effective. I think they're a must. They make cleaning the tank so much easier. I think every tank needs one of these. It's really important to know what to feed your fish, but it's also important to know how much to feed your fish. So looking at these guys, this guy here, the marigold at the bottom, he's a nice healthy weight, probably a tiny bit on the tubby side, but he's all right. Then these ones here are a pretty good weight, maybe a little bit on the lean side. But looking at these particular animals, they actually could be very old, and old animals actually have trouble holding their weight properly. So we could find out these things are in excess of 10 years old. A normal life for a goldfish is about 4 to 7 years, but you certainly do hear stories of much longer than that. What's that?
We got it probably 4 or 5 years ago, and we don't know how long.
And were they a decent size when you got them?
They were half the size.
Okay.
You reckon half the size?
Yeah, they were small.
Yes, they would have been about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep, that's good.
And we don't know how long the previous two.
No, you don't. Because they could have been in a small tank for a long time because they don't grow as fast in small tanks. So at the end of the day, we don't know. So now these lids are nice and clean, so they will make the tank look nice and clean. What I'm going to do is test how dirty the gravel is. So it's really important every time that we do a water change, we want to be using the gravel to do the water change, because we don't want to just pull the clean water off the surface. We actually want to pull all the dirty water out of the gravel. So if you can see at the moment, there's still a lot of slimy stuff coming out. Yeah, so I think that there has been a point where this tank has been overfed during the holidays, and for future reference, if we're only going away for like less than a week, you can either put a feed block in or get an auto feeder, or just don't feed them at all, because the fish won't really even lose weight in that time. In the gravel cleaner, I'm able to pull out very dirty water, and that's what we want to do. We don't just want clean water off the top, because we want more bang for buck for our water change. That's that my spin test doesn't seem to be working at the moment, so I'm going to have to take a sample back to the shop and find out where we're at. It actually looks like it hasn't been getting cleaned out with tap water. It looks like it has been getting cleaned out with tap water. So it's very dirty, but it doesn't look normal dirty. So the other thing is that this media is just a bit of sponge, and you could make your filter way more effective, like putting a turbo in the filter, by putting better media in the filter. Because at the moment this is just very basic media. And here's some carbon. If the carbon is older than a month, then you've got to say 2 months maximum, you've got to throw it out. Because what the activated carbon will do is suck stuff out of the water, which is good, but then it will actually let it all back in again if it's full. So we could get better medias. We got to make sure this media is never cleaned in tap water. It's only cleaned in tank water, so the chlorine doesn't kill the good bacteria on it. And then there's other medias like polyfilter that we could put in that would massively improve the performance of this filter. Put this stuff in the filter. This is God's gift to fish tanks. What this will do is remove anything that shouldn't be in the water, and it will leave in anything that should be in the water. It'll take out all your particles, it'll polish your water, and then over a period of months it will turn to black. Then you chuck it out and put a new piece in. This stuff's like magic. So it's also really important we give the impeller a clean. That's quite dirty, because all that sludge on the impeller and on the inside of this slows down the filter and ends up making it less effective. Okay, so because I'm seeing a lot of big chunks in the gravel, I did find out that one of the fish that died got eaten by the other fish, and apparently was bigger than these ones. So some of this excess waste I'm seeing would actually be the result of a fish dying, which may or may not be as a result of the fish being overfed while on holidays. So the fish may not have actually been overfed, because that fish may have died for another reason, which I will assess once I get back to the shop. Okay, so this had a bucket of carbon in it as well. So depending on how this filter's been managed, I do wonder whether the filter media is getting washed with tank water, not tap water. And then I do wonder how old those carbons are, because if the carbons are old, then they can actually be bad. I don't know how often they've been replaced. They should be replaced every 1 to 2 months. So here's some old ornaments that used to be in the tank. If it was up to me, I'd probably throw a lot of this stuff out, because it's had its day. So I'd go through that, chuck out whatever you don't want, and I'd consider getting some nice new decoration. Okay, now I'd like to do a quick review of the cabinet. So we've got some water ager here. We've got some very cheap fish food, remembering that fish keeping is 50% water quality, 50% food quality. So that not helping us too much. More pressure cooked processed fish food. We've got a mystery white powder. We've got some Bactinex for bacterial infection, not much left. We've got some more pressure cooked processed fish food. We have some phosphate remover for some reason. Very unusual to ever get used with the goldfish tank. Normally more of a saltwater thing. Easy Life, this is great stuff. Probably use this at the end. This is good stuff. What the Easy Life does is hold in solution what should be in solution, and drops out of solution what shouldn't be in solution. And we've got lots of vacation feeders down here as well. We've also got a fairly primitive algae magnet. If it was up to me, I'd get a really good algae magnet. We've also got a holiday feeder down here, and a pH test, and a couple of other random bottles. And they would be out of date. So I think they should get chucked out. That magnet cleaner I don't know if I'd use, but we're missing some key ingredients. What I'm going to do is remove the spray bar, mainly because I hate spray bars. They look ugly, and the main purpose of the filter is to deliver the water to the surface and agitate the surface as much as possible. Now the spray bar will help to do that, but it will also stunt, it'll restrict the water flow quite a lot, so we'll be getting less water flow. So I think just little spouts like that look much less obvious, and I'm able to deliver better water flow with them.